Closing arguments are set to begin first thing tomorrow morning in the trial of a former Knox County sheriff charged with manslaughter stemming from a three-car crash near Electra in 2023 that claimed the life of a 22-month-old girl.
That's after both the prosecution and the defense for Michael Carlson rested and closed their cases earlier this afternoon, following a day filled with expert testimony.
Josh Hoggard was in the courtroom for the close of testimony today. So, Josh, tell us what happened today.
Yeah, guys, both the prosecution and the defense called an expert in accident reconstruction before resting and closing this afternoon. Each side's expert with a very different take on what happened that led to the crash, ultimately claiming the life of 22-month-old Aveline Hill. After testimony got going this morning, a medical examiner briefly took the stand. Then lead prosecutor Chelsea Carlton called James Evans to testify. He reviewed data from both Carlson's pickup and the Hill family's SUV, showing Aveline's mother, Jeanette Hill, had been going just 7 or 8 miles an hour in the seconds leading up to the crash, with no evidence she ever quickly changed lanes. He also testified that Carlson's pickup was going 65, and he didn't hit the brakes until 0.6 seconds before slamming into the back of Hill's SUV. He said based on his experience, distracted driving was likely the cause of the fatal crash. And Carlson's defense attorney, Mark Barber, cross-examined Evans, who admitted that there was no evidence of cell phone use. And then with the jury outside of the courtroom, Carlson invoked his Fifth Amendment right not to take the stand. Then after lunch, Barber called a crash reconstruction expert on behalf of the defense, Scott Linkletter, who discussed the looming threshold, or the time it takes a driver to see a vehicle in front of them and react. He testified that even if Carlson had applied the brakes much earlier, a collision still would have happened based on the average reaction time of drivers. Then on cross-examination, Linkletter testified that the looming effect isn't possible if the driver isn't looking at the road. And with the state recalling their expert to rebut the defenses, both sides rested and closed their case. Now, closing arguments are set to get going first thing tomorrow morning, and then after that, the case will be given to that jury of 10 women and 2 men until they reach a unanimous verdict. And if they do find Carlson guilty, the trial will then move into a punishment phase where those same men and women will then decide the former sheriff's punishment. Carlson faces up to 20 years in prison if he's convicted. And we're expecting a verdict or verdicts tomorrow, so make sure that you're sticking with us on air and online for the very latest.
We'll be keeping track of that for sure and seeing what comes of it. Josh, thank you so much for that update.